Welcome back, Wildcats. I'm Corey Hadfield.
And I'm Seaton, and this is a special edition of the Wildcat Report. This week, we welcome some fresh new faces to Millard West Seaton.
Ashley Love finds her passion in track and field. This year, she will be running with the Wildcats.
Meet Ashley Love. Where others are afraid to lead the pack, Ashley Love welcomes the solitude of leadership. She thrives on competition for motivation to better herself and teammates as she works towards the success this upcoming track season.
It's just something that I've kind of stuck with for a while. Like other things, I'll like try it out and then quit, or like I've been sticking with it, so.
When times get tough and practices are challenging, some athletes struggle with motivation. Ashley Love is no exception.
Yeah, sometimes if I get tired, then I'll just like start walking. I just need to like push through it.
Coach Seth Turman believes it's more important to work as a team to bring athletes' spirits up.
They also got to have that confidence and that mental toughness about themselves for that to really kind of kick in for them. And so I think there's a little bit of both. And I also think that the team aspect of training together can help push those athletes to excel.
I always try to like do my best and never give up and like sort of compare myself to others.
Her running career is off the blocks, although the finish line is still far away. This has been Emily,
Jaden,
Ellie, Drew,
and Eric
with the Wildcat Report.
The transition from middle school sports to high school sports can be very difficult.
While the transition from middle school to high school itself is often difficult, freshman Adam Qassem discovers himself while also discovering some new tricks.
At Millard West High School, marching band and wrestling do not cut it for freshman Adam Qassem. He desires a thrill that school cannot deliver. Adam's true spirit resides at the skate park.
My name's Adam Qassem, and I like to skateboard.
At school, you're surrounded by teachers who instruct you to learn a certain way. In sports, the coach dictates what you do, and in band, you're limited to the group's potential.
My favorite thing about it is that you can skate however you want. There's like, if you want to do harder tricks, then you can do harder tricks. No one is telling you what you can and can't do. When I first started skateboarding, my neighbor introduced me to it. It all started from there. I don't really have interests in a lot of other things because skateboarding, once I got into it, it's all I wanted to ever do.
After hours spent at Robert's skate park, he was introduced to Daniel and several other skaters who would soon become his closest friends.
I've come out to this skate park uncountable times. I really can't count anymore.
I was skating at Hy-Vee one day on 180th and Q, and I remember seeing just up the hill around this corner this nerdy little 7th grader skate around with like glasses and stuff. And he didn't look too comfortable on a board, but then he started just shredding gap, and I was just like, this kid's good. He has a lot of just natural talent towards skateboarding, so he can get really good if he just keeps skating every day like he does.
No matter what anyone thinks of him, Adam will always follow his passion and ride on.
So this year's freshmen seem to have a lot of self-taught talents.
Being self-taught is a talent itself. Adam Qassem taught himself how to skateboard, while Kobe Reddy teaches himself everything.
Computer programming and piano playing are two talents that do not often go hand in hand. However, in the case of Kobe Reddy, he hits all the right keys.
Well, I started playing the piano because I got bored and I like to self-teach myself skills. Like when I was 9, I self-taught myself computer programming.
According to Sister Katie, Kobe pursues his hobbies by practicing over and over again.
I think my brother took interest in his piano programming because a lot of his friends both started with piano and they kind of taught him little things.
Kobe just learned how to play the piano only 6 months ago. Over the short period of time, he has learned how to play a large variety of songs. As his fingers strike the keys, his passion becomes evident.
Well, I feel like Beethoven had a lot to go through to become a great pianist. I mean, like he was deaf, dying.
With another strike of the key, this time on the computer, Kobe spends much of his time programming. With a few tips and tricks from his dad, Kobe says computer programming wouldn't be a bad career.
I think it's fun, but I'm a nerd.
Just like Gilbert in Revenge of the Nerds, Kobe's a nerd, and he's pretty proud of it. This has been Team Craig with the Wildcat Report. It seems like Kobe Reddy has a knack for learning new things,
while Riley Smith has a knack for reading while being true to herself.
Reading is one of the passions that is often overlooked. Riley Smith, freshman at Millard West, gores at pages and words more often than the average high school student. She spends hours a day flipping through pages, watching words dance across the hard-covered world she admits herself into as an escape. In the summer of 2014, Riley fell in love with reading. She wanted to read the Maze Runner series before she saw the movie. She realized she enjoyed reading more than watching the movie.
Reading has impacted me in my perspective on the world because it helps me better understand some people or situations. It's also allowed me to better read people, their emotions, because in books you have to describe it a lot.
After 2 years of reading, Riley began purchasing each book she wanted to read. Her collection has grown to 74 books and is still growing. Along with reading her books, she also reads on her iPhone. With all of her books stacked up, they tower over her and show just how much she loves reading. Even though Riley might seem quiet on the outside, there is more going on inside than what people might see.
Stereotypes with reading tend to say if you read, you're depressing maybe, or you're antisocial, or you're a nerd. And though those are true sometimes, usually they're not.
I think reading offers people, and all people, Riley and all people, an escape from reality, and lets them go on adventures that they may not otherwise be able to have.
To say just because I like reading makes me that stereotype, I'd say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and you should get to know me before you decide what I'm actually like. And don't judge me just because I like to read.
Riley has always imagined her kind of paradise would be a library. She wants people to not judge a book by its cover because what's on the outside is not always what's on the inside. This has been Will, Tess, Lena, Corey, and Megan with the Wildcat Report.
Riley Smith has learned how to read people through books.
Kayla Kittle, on the other hand, finds her enjoyment in reading sheet music.
Many kids growing up like to pass time by playing games, hanging out with friends, or even watching TV. But at 8 years old, Kayla Kittle was different. While other second graders were listening to Hannah Montana, the Jonas Brothers, and other Disney hits, Kayla was streaming Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart. The constant flow of stringed instruments playing throughout her house led her father to come up with an idea. Kayla should learn to play the violin. Although she plays with ease now, when she first started, things were more complicated.
So I was kind of frustrated because it's kind of hard to play, so.
But she refused to give up. She has been taking lessons from her teacher Marcia for 7 years. Kayla learned the violin a bit differently than others.
Suzuki is like a program where you learn by ear.
One of her closest friends, Caitlin Gonzalez, has shared similar music experiences and has seen Kayla strive ever since they were young.
She's about 20 times better than I am at violin.
Although she practices a lot, her friend seems to think she's naturally skilled.
It's very smooth and she can do vibrato, so it's really beautiful.
Her experiences performing include baseball games, nursing homes, Omaha Area Youth Orchestra, and now the Millard West Music Department. Her next challenge, auditioning for chamber orchestra, and she's not nervous at all. In addition to playing throughout her high school career, she already has future plans in place.
I'd like to keep playing in college and hopefully be with the Omaha Symphony one day.
Someday, Kayla aspires to be a first-chair violinist, sharing her musical talent with the world. This has been Natalie, Rana, Emily, Caitlin, and Lauren with the Wildcat Report.
These are just a few of the many talented new freshmen at Leonard West.
We encourage you to greet and welcome the new Wildcats to the school. This has been Corey Hadfield
and Emmy Seaton
with the Wildcat Report.